my name is Dom, coming at you pre-recorded from my very small flat. I'm one of the experts by experience, working for the council. I'm 23 years old, studying engineering at university, and I was born and raised in Hertford.
Hello, my name is CJ, I'm an Experts by Experience member, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my experience as well as myself and the role I play in the Experts by Experience program. I'm 24 years old, who I used to live in Hertfordshire, but now live in Bedfordshire as well as in London as well.
Hello, I'm Katie, I'm an Expert by Experience, and I'm just going to talk to you a bit more about myself and the Experts role. So I'm 24 years old and I grew up in Bedfordshire, but now I live in Reading.
I've been diagnosed since way back in my year 5 and year 6 days in my primary school, and since then I didn't have a clear understanding onto what autism is and how I can be able to play it to my advantage. Back then I thought it was nothing more than just playing me to my disadvantage. I get criticized a lot, I get confused a lot, and get stressed out too easily, as well as being overwhelmed. And then pretty much get criticized and the fact or misunderstood. But over the years, I think it's gone a lot better, and my confidence has been growing because I got a very nice supportive family, as well as a nice support system within my school days in college and in my secondary. They turned around for the better.
At age 12, I was diagnosed with mental health conditions such as anxiety and depression, and I was only diagnosed with autism last year at age 23, which meant that I went through a lot of my life kind of thinking I was neurotypical when actually I'm neurodivergent, which made getting a diagnosis very life-changing because I realised so much about myself that I had previously blamed myself for, why was I acting that way, why did I react that way in that situation, and now I've realised why. So I have a big interest in late diagnosis for that reason, especially in women, as it's very undiagnosed. But as a person with such late diagnosed autism, it's meant that I went through school without any HCP and I had very little support. My only support was for mental health, which wasn't very good. So I'm very happy now that I've got diagnosis because it's given me this confidence and I'm now trying to use it to empower other people. And that's exactly what the expert's role is, really.
I had some help with mental health, and around 15, 16, that eventually led to me being diagnosed with ASD just before I turned 18. And as you can imagine, my diagnosis had an enormous impact on my life, as it does for most people. I suddenly had so much to process about myself, my whole life, society, even sort of the once theoretical politics suddenly becoming a direct impact on my life. Fundamentally, it was something to do with my brain, so it obviously did quite literally touch on every facet of my life. And as I'm sure you can all put together, suddenly having every aspect of your life upend and change when you have a disorder that is specifically volatile when it comes to change is not a good mix. I was in weekly therapy for a year. I was having to devote a huge portion of my mental energy into finding ways to cope and self-regulate, finding ways to rework a neurotypical centered framework to better service me. I even had to grieve the old me, whatever that was. And so again, having to devote so much energy towards untangling my whole life and such complex issues while having a disorder susceptible to burnout and shutdown is, again, not a good mix. And so for me, the people I had around me and the services available, I don't think I could have gathered a better support network going into this life-altering event. But that doesn't mean it was the platonic ideal of the best possible support network. I've made my peace with that, but anything that can be done to improve the support networks of people not in as fortunate a position as me, feels like my responsibility.
As experts, we are using our past experiences to empower and destigmatise SEND. We've done a lot of amazing work so far, but this is a very new role, not just to us, but to the council as well. So we're going to keep talking to other people, I'm sure, and see where we fit. But so far we've done some really amazing work, such as we've been to the launch of the co-production event in June, which is going to be a follow-up for in November, which I'm very excited for, to see how people have utilised co-production. We had a look at the local offer page, which offers SEND information, and we suggested edits which have been implemented. We've discussed in a Teams call the impact of our experts role. We've obviously got the event today, which I'm hoping other people take away from and realise the importance of children and young persons' voices. We have a social media takeover in December, which I'm really excited for.
My team and I pretty much looked at the local office page and suggested about the edits that could be implemented of the information that's already been sent to us. We also discussed about a Teams call about how our opinions impacted the whole experts role as a whole. We took part of the multi-partnership co-production event back in July, and we were joined by several team members and leaders from the Special Educational Needs, Disabilities, Services, Health and Quality teams. And we all had a discussion about what's going well and what's not going well in regards to involving young people in their plans of the educational healthcare plans. We also voted on the 3 most important things that we want to change on what's not going well, and then pretty much created an action for leaders.
For me, my focus has been on the integrated care side, assisting in tendering process for therapies and beginning reverse mentoring with a senior director to have a SEND voice included in decision making at the highest level. And then more work is coming up with making SEND everyone's business, and meetings with various departments, teams, services and individuals to help guide them on what's best for young disabled people. For me, the expert by experience role comes down to the fact that if disability issues could be fixed by levers and switches of government alone, a policy expert would have done it by now. Seeing as we know this isn't the case, we are here because someone needs to speak emphatically and from the heart to talk about what is right and hopefully diplomatically tell it how it is when something is wrong, so that we can all be forensic and a little ruthless in our assessment of what is currently in place and the purpose it serves. Newton said, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." And I think that is the responsibility of each and every single one of us in the room here. This won't happen overnight, and we won't be in this service forever. We'll move on, retire, priorities will change. So my final remark is that our responsibility is to set good practice so that we may be the giants for those ahead of us.
The educational healthcare plan is something I'm very passionate about and I want to change, as it's very hard for most children and people with special educational needs and disabilities to understand what's being discussed and what's going to help them in their learning. That's why we want to pretty much be able to help out and be able to make it not only accessible to a lot of children, but also make it easy for them as well as the parents to understand. I'm hoping to expect to see some changes to be seen in the guidance documents, as well as professionals to their training in this coming autumn, and here to be able to discuss it even further in February of next year. Another thing I'm looking forward to this next coming year is also helping out with the Partnership for Inclusion Neurodivergence in School program, where I'm going to be supporting schools to better understand social communications for neurodivergent children and how it can impact their school experience, as well as giving my experience about when it comes to school. I'm looking forward to pretty much hearing it, because I would like to pretty much help out in the best way I can.
The expert's role is very important to me because as a person of SEND, I feel like I kind of, from a young age, got pushed into a box and got told this is what you're capable of and this is what you're going to achieve. But actually, my world and my opportunities in life are bigger than that box, and I want other people with SEND to realise that as well. Because being disabled, it's not a bad thing, and I want more people to realise that, and I hope that by listening to children and young people today, that everyone else can realise that too, and that having more SEND awareness is essential. And thank you so much for listening.